If somebody came down to talk to us, a venture capitalist, Steve would be there to try to tell them to put their money into this. So the garage got used, but very little. But it's not what people in their mind think it was a real company. It was, hardly used. So that was one myth. But yeah, most of the myths are true. Steve he wasn't like the overall guiding, it was his idea to start a computer company even. It's sort of like what he saw was where he wanted to go. He didn't come in with this godlike, oh, I'm going to structure things this way and set it up and run everything. It's like he was learning, because the important person was our investor, Mike Markkula. Mike Markkula came in and he not only put the money in, he explained the importance of marketing, that instead of being an engineering-driven company like Hewlett-Packard, we would be a marketing-driven company that has a sense of the customers. And he influenced Steve's thinking very much. You have to make things look good in your advertising and your packaging and everything. Steve got that directly from Mike. Mike also, as a businessman in the past, he had the money. He was going to run our marketing, but he told us you have to hire these positions in the company, and here's their roles, and here's why they are needed. He taught us business, how to set up a company, basically. So it was very important. That was what made the difference between us and lots of other little young kids, just out of high school and college that were running around, trying to come up with an idea for a company. We had some professionalism.
In those early years, you co-founded Apple in '76, left in '85?
Well, I left twice. I had in 1981, I had an airplane crash. I was working on the Macintosh group, and 5 weeks later, I came out of this amnesia, a forward type of amnesia. And whoa, and I called up Steve Jobs and I said, we got the most creative people in Apple working on the Macintosh, ones that didn't even go to college, but they can design better than anyone else. And I said, I'm going to go back to Berkeley and get my last year of college for my college degree. Wow. This is the last chance I'll ever have. It'd been 10 years, so I did. I went back to Berkeley under a fake name because my name was well known, and my Berkeley
wow.
diploma reads Rocky Raccoon Clark. Always put a little fun into everything. And later I came back to Apple. I did some more engineering on a product that became the Apple 2GS. And then I got this idea to build a universal remote control. I love being first to do things. And nobody's ever done one of these. And a little thing with some microprocessors and some keys you could press, came up with the whole design and the formula, and took an engineer from Apple, and we started this little company. I like small little startups. Once Apple's a big company and all the bureaucracy and the management levels and all that and the way products get done, that's not an inventor style. Inventor wants to go right in the lab. So I went there and I wrote some of the software that was inside of this remote control. It's a great little, it was like a handheld computer. The trouble is, other people built universal remote controls that were a lot less than a computer. They just knew the codes. You punch in 002 for Sony and it works. So they were cheap, and this one was, $150 bucks, but it was cool.
Last question.
So by the way, I didn't leave Apple exactly. I didn't resign. I stayed an Apple employee, so I would get a paycheck every day since day one of the company. I have been on the payroll computer. I've never been off it. I'm still on it today. Small little paycheck, very tiny, but I want to keep that little loyalty thing going. I'm still under some employment contract, but it's not like most people's. Not like most people in Apple, where if you talk about anything, man, you're out of the company. I'm under some ancient thing.